Precure に爆盛りに新たな力を
Nah, I bet it can't make the most important thing though.
Frozen drinks now.
Oh, how I miss the golden age of infomercials hosted by washed out has-beens. We open this week with... It's too early in the episode for that, so we'll just let that one slide. Okay, put 1 for telling, but literally not showing afterwards. Now, give this prologue this, at least they're fulfilling my gag quota right off the bat.
刃物を握る手で人を幸せにできるのは料理人だけだと。
Though I can never understand that one quote about work being as sticky as natto. That is, unless she was referring to after hours. Meanwhile, the lair of the bundles, Gentle proved to be an even bigger boomer than freaking Dogon. Curses! How is there literally no other food bloggers on this app for a town that's well known for its food? Oh wait. Seriously girl, Google Sensei is your best friend. I mean, they're certainly more dependable than the literal narcissist here. And he gave her a new lunchbox that I'm kinda surprised isn't on Amazon for sale. But then again, they never do sell that good villain merch other than the body pillows. How about new? Seriously, there's being sus, and then there's this guy and his inability to not monologue all of his evil intentions. Back with our heroines, they just kind of decide to go on a little luncheon for no particular reason. Kind of like how there's a blimp there for no particular reason. Seriously, what's going on there? Anyway, maybe because they watched my cooking video, they decided to get some omelet rice. And let me guess, you want your waifu to sing you a little solo while you eat, you possessive old yandere. At the same time, because someone can't figure out how to use freaking Yelp, Gentle decided to get some lunch for herself, and yeah, I'm calling her Gentle for now and not Amane, for reasons we'll see in just a bit. Anyway, the Cures encountered the same omelet fairy from the first episode, because small world, and also, I guess it thought it was safe to come back to this town that's constantly under attack by the bundles. But hey, what are the odds of lightning striking twice? So wait. Also, don't drag your pudding friend into this, you're gonna make Himari sad. Anyway, after everyone finished their meals over a jump cut, Gentle spied our heroines, and more importantly, their little fairy friends. Thus, she got out her lunchbox, while standing in front of the girls she now knew were the Precure. Like, I don't think she was going to use it right in front of them, but then why get it out at all and risk someone seeing you magically materialize it like those chefs standing right there?
The answer is don't think about it.
Seriously, a lot of this episode feels like things are just kind of happening for the sake of the plot. It just all feels so contrived, so they better give me something to keep me interested or... Okay, that was an interesting reaction. I mean, just the fact that she was triggered by them talking about her family's business makes you wonder if that was more the Gentle or Amane personality saying that. Like, maybe the Kasais are into some shady stuff, not necessarily the bundles, but maybe some sort of criminal organization that inevitably pushed the daughter into supernatural criminal affairs? That would be an interesting twist, so hopefully they'll follow up on this. Anyway, as she was leaving, Yui told her catchphrase, which made her chin outline super thick and sharp. Oh wait. Hi Doga. Hopefully they'll let you direct more than 2 episodes this season. With that, she took her leave so that she could use her lunchbox from an obscured location. Again, don't know what the point of that earlier scene was, but more importantly... More on that in just a bit. With that, I guess to make this callback complete, she created another frying pan monster, but now with her own powers, resulting in a sharper mask and horns. I mean, I'll give it this, it's certainly a lot more distinctive than the Yaneda and their slightly angrier face with each iteration. We then also finally got the full team transformation and roll call, which was them standing with their hands on their hips.
Riveting.
Seriously, I think I would have just preferred if they had all done Yami shit pose. I mean, if anything, the frying pan outdid them just a scene later. Oh yeah, and we were also about halfway into this episode, so at least we were getting a relatively longer fight this week, which is always nice. It would kind of have to be in order to get across the strength of this new enemy after so much power level inconsistencies, which it certainly did, again thanks to Itooka's excellent direction, as well as a couple of others, though we'll save talking about them for the closing thoughts. Anyway, using some impressive teamwork, they managed to take down the monster, but...
Stupid dog! You made me look bad!
As a result, our heroines were KO'd and all seem lost in the... Okay, sorry. I know this is supposed to be the big dramatic climactic scene of the episode and everything, but I have to kind of play this clip. Seriously, if this was supposed to be a sad, emotional scene, maybe you should have your fairies cry like characters out of South Park. It certainly didn't help the drama of this scene. Okay, so starting for this video, we're just gonna do a little gimmick where I'm going to ask a question, and you can feel free to answer it in the comments below, and I really have to ask this. Am I the only one who thinks they're kind of doing this whole Amane arc backwards? Like, we're only maybe learning more about Amane and her background in this episode, and yet an exchange like this between her and her dark persona feel like something that should be saved for a more climactic moment in her arc, and not when it's barely gotten off the ground. After all, she's quoting both Yui and this show's mantra, so maybe it should be used when there's a little more build-up. I don't know, it just feels a little off to me, but, and again, voluntary and everything. Feel free to let me know in the comments below what y'all think. Anyway, speaking of rush plot points, I guess this was the point where our heroines earned their new power-ups. I mean, okay, at least compared to Gentle, they did have 9 episodes to get to know the food fairies, and thus feel bad for them. But when compared with a similar episode 10 from last season, there was at least some legit sense of danger after Manatsu was de-transformed and almost became a jaded NEET. Here though, it doesn't really feel like there's any desperate need for a new power-up, but whatever, I guess they gotta sell that new toy somehow. Anyway, the other food fairies that they had befriended and had wisely decided to stay away from this accursed town decided to join in on the fight. Forget about the floating plastic food, what's up with your face, dude? Jesus, that perspective. Anyway, they got their new mixer toys, which, yeah, I thought were coffee presses, hence the new buffer at the beginning of these videos, but no, as the name suggests, they're manual mixers, which required the Cures to push down on them 3 times, which, yeah, is it just me, or does that look a tad bit suggestive? Sorry, I'll get my head out of this gutter. Honestly though, I think I kind of needed to make a dirty joke, because otherwise, this new attack was kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong, the gun firing effect was impressive, because in this franchise, they can't use swords, but guns are a-okay. Didn't know the show took place in America. But other than that, this whole sequence just feels a little incomplete. Like, maybe a few more camera angles here would have made it feel a little more dynamic, which they could have done if they hadn't spent so much time on the suggestive pumping. Because otherwise, I honestly thought the normal individual finishers were more impressive and wait.
There's deja vu, there's language processing, there's deja vu.
Anyway, they resaved the hapless omelet and also gained some pudding. This resulted in an unexpected reaction from Gentle. Oh great, now she's turning into Siegfried. Later, they recreated the ending to Kira's second episode. Come on y'all, I know you're different enough from that season. And they also considered using their new toys to make some fruit juice, which I would have said was more false advertising, but then Rosemary provided a requisite product warning. Because, let's face it, there definitely would have been kids who would have tried that. And with that, the episode ended with... Okay, now that felt like a proper count. Thank you for keeping this stupid gag alive. Oh, and there was also a bit with Gentle still struggling with schizophrenia. Yeah, could someone purify her Dino Gem already? When most of your episode is just one elongated battle, it's usually a pretty fun time. That was certainly the case for this episode, as along with the aforementioned Itaoka, this episode actually had 3 animation directors who were able to do the blended miso thing for the most part. That said, the actual story here felt a bit rushed to me in multiple areas. Now, I'm not saying turning this into a 2-parter or something would have helped, but a little build-up wouldn't have killed ya. Just so we're clear, in spite of all of my complaints in this review, I don't dislike this series yet, but it also hasn't grabbed me yet, and this episode was a good example of why. The general storytelling throughout has just felt off, with plot points feeling like they need a little more time in the oven. In the case of this specific episode, while I get them wanting to protect the food fairies, as they actually have built up relationships with the Cures decently, this battle didn't feel quite dramatic enough that it would require a brand new toy. They might have been able to pull it off with a little more build-up in this episode, but that time also had to go to the Gentle/Amane subplot, which I'm really still not on board with. As even though we did seem to get some interesting tidbits regarding Amane's family life, we still know next to nothing about the character, as Gentle has been in the driver's seat for most of the series so far. And yet they really try to make us care about this character by now almost constantly having Gentle try to suppress her, to the point that's pretty much all she did for the latter half of this episode. This isn't building a new character, it's reinforcing a character ticked to the point of nauseam. Again, I'll still try to give this subplot a chance, but I think I can safely say now, Toa did better. And this is a bit of a shame, as the animators clearly put their all into this one. I already mentioned Itaoka, but there was also Akira Inagami and Yukiko Ueda sharing the director's seat. And they made one of the more impressive looking episodes so far, especially that elongated battle, where again, everyone played a part. Yeah, I'm not blown away by the new finisher, but that's kind of standard at this point. However, overall, this wasn't a great episode due to a couple of underbaked plot points. Hopefully, these chefs will be able to figure out their pacing better, otherwise, maybe I'll just get some takeout. Work on the Battle Spirits video is going well, so hopefully something should be out this coming week. I'm not gonna make any promises. It'll just be a little introduction to the franchise with a very brief overview of each season. And from there, we'll see what comes next. Maybe we'll continue that Tropical Rouge manga, or make another cooking video. We'll play it by ear, as we often do nowadays. Still look forward to it. Until then though, farewell for now, my friends, and if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna partake in one of my personal pleasures, watching old infomercials.
Hi, Billy Mays here with another fantastic product.